All right, this is my third try at this. We'll see if this works. Um, right. So just going over messages from my wife here. See whether or not she messages me during this video. Probably. So yesterday I watched a video on Emma Blackery's channel, and if you've never watched it, you should. And I mean that. And I think this is the first time that I'm going to recommend her channel in a long time. And listening to her video yesterday, I realized why her channel has seemed a bit off. There's been a lot of internet drama around Emma at times, which, if you're in your mid-early 20s, that happens. I know she's in her later 20s now. I've even seen people talking about how she's too old for this and that, and I'm thinking, oh my god, if she's too old at, what, 29? I don't want to know what people think of me. I really would rather not. But Emma's always been outspoken, and she's never really backed down from people or from a challenge. And before I started up my channel, Emma's videos were ones that I watched a lot. And I watched Shauna's channel, Shauna's Nana Lou. They even did a crossover at one point. They did a collaboration, which I thought was fantastic. And it was funny because Shauna sort of seemed to be kind of PG-13 in that video, where her channel was always G and PG rated, and Emma called her out on it, and rightfully so. And of course, Red Letter Media, I'm a big fan of. Shadow, I'm not sure what he's a big fan of, but he likes when I'm in here. It's the only time he's on this tree is when I'm in here. It's like, all right, Dad's on the set, I've got to be on the tree, which is why I have the tree here. So say hi to the people, Shadow. But yeah, so Emma's been trying to make the music career thing work, and I was worried because she has this following of roughly 1.5 million subscribers, and when you decide you're going to do something different, it is one thing to say, well, we have that built-in fan base, but it's also another thing to say, I'm going to stop doing the content that got me all those views, and instead I'm going to do something else. And that's dangerous. If I came out tomorrow on the hockey channel and said, I've decided I'm going to take the entertainment guy stuff and just make that the main channel stuff, I don't really feel like talking about hockey anymore, my views, my channel, everything would nosedive. It would go. I know there are those core people that would still support the channel, but it'd disappear quickly. And when she started focusing everything on the music career, I thought, gee, this is potentially hazardous to the channel. And I noticed that the number of subscribers were dropping, and the view counts per video seemed to be dropping as well. And now I understand why she seemed off. The first thing I'll say is, if Emma ever watches this, I don't have any reason to think that she will, but if she ever does, yes, stress causes weight gain. Absolutely, yes. And it can be hard to lose that, and the worst part is when you're a YouTuber, you have hundreds, thousands, some channels would have millions of people telling them, you look like crap today. I get that a lot. This is why, if I normally wake up at about 7 in the morning, maybe 8 at the very latest. Sometimes I'm up at 6 or 6:30, but I'm not making videos until I know I look like I'm awake. I used to roll out of bed, I'd go make videos, and I didn't care. But there would always be those comments about how I was on drugs, or I was drunk, or he's hungover, and it's like, no, I'm old and I'm tired. And when you're old, this is what your face does. Like, it's just, and when you got all these younger people watching your videos, they're very, oh, look how old he looks, look how tired he looks, look how crappy, he's probably on drugs. It's like, oh, I wish I could afford drugs. I can't, it's just too much money. But the reality is that as a YouTuber, you are always under the microscope. So for her, and I would think that being a young woman, it is far more under the microscope for her. People are not going to the Hockey Guy channel going, I tune in for the sexy. But for younger women on YouTube, that is a part of it. It's absolutely a part of it. That guys will go, I will watch this. That girl's cute. I'm going to watch this video. And so, of course, she's packed on a couple of pounds. She's starting to look she looks kind of tired in this video. I don't know, guys. I'm starting to think she's losing it. And the content might be perfectly fine, but she doesn't look great. It'd be like if all of my hockey videos, I was wearing the ugliest jersey imaginable. This is not the ugliest jersey imaginable. This is from Geeky Jerseys, who of course I've started talking to, and don't be surprised when there's some kind of affiliation between myself and Geeky Jerseys, which makes complete and total sense, right? Right. So for Emma, what I'm understanding now from her video, and I'm going to say things that she couldn't say in her video because she can't say them for legal reasons. I can because I can. I don't know the name of the person that's involved in this, but I'll go ahead and say it. She was taken advantage of by somebody who took her money, spent it likely on himself, on friends of his, along the lines of like Adam Sandler making a movie. Hey guys, y'all want to make $1 million? Come on, I'm going to make a movie for Netflix. Everybody gets $1 million. And come on guys, I don't care if you don't know how to act. You're my friend. You're in my movie. So there was some of that going on. So she's having this tour that's losing her money. She's making these albums that are losing her money, and I can't imagine the stress of that. I know that in writing books over my lifetime, and I've written a lot of books over my lifetime, and then I would just scrap them and rewrite them, which would drive people insane. Can you imagine an author publishing a book and then going, I've decided to scrap it and rewrite it? If I had not published my Into the Void books on Amazon about a decade ago, I would want to rewrite them right now. And I still kind of do, because there's things I want to fix. As an author, you don't finish a book, you abandon it. I'm trying to think if it was Stephen King that said that. I know it was a well-known author that said you never finish a project, you just abandon it. You go, that's as good as it's going to get. But if you give an author a chance, they're going to go back and go, I don't like that, and I don't like that. And it doesn't matter what the crowd reaction is, because it's the author's writing for the author when you're writing books. But I could see a situation where I say, you know what? Now I've got this channel, it's doing really well. I'm going to take some of my money and I'm going to put it into publishing my books. And I could imagine that somebody would come along and go, I'll help you. I work with publishers all the time. I work on this. I can do this for you. We'll get this done. And it might be a disaster. It could be a complete and total disaster where I end up down a lot of money. And in Emma's case, she was down a lot of money. Now, where this could affect the channel is, now, if I'm making videos every day on the main channel or on here, but I'm thinking in the back of my head about all this money I'm losing, it's going to affect my mood, which is going to come across in videos. And people are going to be like, he's not as chipper as he should be. And again, for young woman on YouTube, now you're going through, she seems to have gained a few pounds. And does she seem really crabby? Why is she so crabby? She should be grateful for everything she has. Which is commonly thrown at YouTubers, right? Like, you have no reason to complain, ever, so don't. Just be grateful every single day that you have what you have, and shut up. And that's something that's been directed at multiple YouTubers. I've seen it directed at me a few times. And I'm sure it was directed at her as well. But what was going on with her was she was seeing, she made good money on YouTube, and she was doing really well. And somebody else saw this and they decided to siphon off as much as they could. And you could tell when she's making this video, you could tell she wanted to go off. You could tell she wanted to yell and scream and swear at this person. You could tell she wanted to lose it, and she couldn't. You know, for just not wanting the drama, and there may very well be legal reasons as well, where you can come out and you can call somebody every name in the book, but you can't call them a liar. Because that's libel, and that's, all these other things, and, oh, you ruined my reputation, I'm taking you to court. So it is weird, and it's the reason that Penn and Teller's BS show was worded the way that it was, and it's curse words all the way through, rather than just saying liar and charlatan, because they can't. They do that, they can end up in court for defamation of character. Even if a person doesn't have character, you can still apparently go to court and say it's defamation of character. There's times where I see that lawsuit and thinking, what character? That person doesn't have any character. But hey, you take them to court and make them go broke, even if you don't end up winning the court case. And I'm sure for her, she's already spent enough money on this person as it is. But, it is... And the other thing, too, is, keep in mind, I'm in my 40s, and she's in her early 20s, mid-20s. And so the experience that I've had in my life, the experience she's had, her experience level is going to be a little lower. And it might be easier for somebody to take advantage of her financially than it would have been for somebody to take advantage of me financially. And yet, I was in a relationship for 15 years where I didn't control the money. And I don't blame that on the person I was with. I blame it on myself. that I didn't know where money was going. I didn't know when there were debts that needed to be paid. I had no idea why I was working 80 hours a paycheck and I was always broke. I had no idea. And I didn't ask the right questions. And I didn't push hard enough because I was worried about ruining everything. I was worried about the world coming down around me so much that I wouldn't stand up for myself. And I got the feeling from the video I watched of her that that may have been part of it, or she was just, so much was going on that she just wasn't aware. It was sort of like, okay, those people are dealing with that. I'm going to do my thing, and they can deal with that. And then the updates came to her, and she broke down when she found out she was losing $30,000, £30,000, which is $45,000 Canadian approximately. It's, well, no, it's, I think it's, no, how much in pounds? Euros and pounds. Anyway, it's a lot of money. Let's just say it's a lot of money. It's the kind of money that if you came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, so Shannon, you lost $30,000," I'd say, "I don't have to pay taxes, and I can't pay rent. Cool. So I'm homeless, but I don't have to worry about paying taxes because I didn't make any money." So there's that, right? So again, it comes across in her videos over the last couple of years. I've watched as her view counts have dropped and her subscriber numbers have dropped, but I'm hoping this is a turnaround for her. And I have listened to her songs, and they're not bad. I mean, at a time where Yvonne and I watched the American Music Awards last night, and we didn't recognize a single song on there, not at all. And this one song came on, and I told Yvonne, I said, "This has been number one for 4 weeks," and she said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. This is just the number one song." I do find pop songs I like. Not often. They're usually British songs though, or German. That's one thing I found. They're usually out of Germany or out of Britain. For instance, Nena, who sang 99 Luftballon, which is everybody, oh, one hit wonder. No, she wasn't a one hit wonder. She's just a one hit wonder in this side of the pond. She's got some great songs that charted in Germany, just nowhere else. Because, okay, we listened to that song, we're done. She's got some really good songs, but no, after 99 Luftballon, then the public's interest was down. Fickle people, I tell you. There's a lot of one hit wonders that I like. I'll do a video on that at some point too. But I just wanted to say that it's, hearing her talk about that, it reminds me why I have never joined a multi-channel network. It reminds me why I've been really nervous about sponsorships, why I've been really wary of anybody reaching out to me and saying, "I'd like to help your channel." Because on the backside, and I know there are people who've genuinely reached out to me and said, "Oh, I'd like to help your channel with this." But in the back of my head, I'm programmed to ask the question of, what are you getting out of this? What angle is there? Where do you benefit from this? And what do I potentially give up? What could I end up losing out of this? How bad could this be for me? And that definitely with multi-channel networks is what I think about. Because when they say we can, increase your viewership by 60%. No, you can't. You can't promise me that. You just can't. We can get you, X number of subscribers. No, you can't. You can't guarantee me that number of subscribers. You can tell me that you've helped, say 1,500 channels, and the average is they gain this many subscribers. You cannot guarantee me, through email, especially when you're not addressing me by my name and you clearly don't know what I do videos about. You cannot guarantee me views. You cannot guarantee me subscribers. No one can. I can't guarantee that for other channels, even if I can advertise a channel on mine and I know that they'll get some kind of a bump from it, but I can't guesstimate what it is. And the reason I don't advertise other channels, you'll notice, like I've talked about Emma's, I've talked about Shauna's, I've talked about Red Letter Media, I talk about other usually pretty big, well-known channels. That's on purpose. And they're always ones that aren't necessarily in the same sort of sphere that I am as a YouTuber. Because I know that if I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to promote this channel that's in the same realm as mine, another hockey channel, I have to promote all of them. So from day one, I've always said, okay, either I allow advertising from everybody or I don't allow it. And so I had to defer to, I'm not going to allow it. And the example I always use is that if you're in a business, you can't advertise another business while you're in. So if I'm in a store, if I'm in a Walmart, I can't go in and go, "Hey, go to Target. Hey, go over to this place. Hey, go over here." Walmart will come in and kindly tell me to go find something else to do and vamoose. and rightfully so. And so I kind of look at it that way. I know that's a really bad analogy, but that's kind of the way I look at it. Um, I hope this means that she's got her channel turned around, and because again, I get it. I get it. If I was losing thousands of dollars on books I was writing, I'd be pushing them pretty heavily on the hockey channel, even though I would know it was probably going to piss some people off. I'd be like, I have to push this because I'm losing so much money. So if I get, say, $15 out of this video from people who watched it buying my books, that's $15 less that I've lost. So it's tough. It is difficult. And one thing too is I remember when she was talking about getting in the music industry, and I kept thinking that is a tough one to break into. That one is really hard. As much as it is difficult to be a YouTuber and make a living at it too. I'm very fortunate. Being in the music industry is really hard. There's a band that we support that's got an online concert coming up this week, Pack AD, and I'll advertise them here because why not? It's an online concert, and I think it's like $10. But the Pack AD is fun. We saw them as an opening act in a concert we went to. I'm trying to think, was that 3 Days Grace? I think it was 3 Days Grace, and they were great. And then we went down and saw them in Bellingham at like a really small little club. They're a fantastic band. They've been together a long time. They do well in Europe. Not so much over here. People haven't really heard of them. And they're very talented. They're very good. And they've got some fantastic songs. Dead Deads as well. The Dead Deads I've promoted. I've got 2 Dead Deads posters on that wall. I think they're absolutely great. But they don't have the mainstream attention. Now, part of it is that their lead singer, who is basically the shot caller for the band, she doesn't want to sign with a label and give up their creative control, and she also thinks that would really hurt them financially. Again, much similar to what I'm doing on YouTube, the idea that if I stay independent, I'm in control, this is mine, and nobody can tell me what to do with it. Nobody can go to her and say, we think you should change your image a little bit. That last album might have been a little bit too dark. We think you should go in more of a pop direction. And I guarantee you, they'd be told to go in a pop direction. It's 3 women. They'd be told to either go into pop or maybe into country. Why don't you guys write? Maybe you guys did some. So yeah, no, I totally agree with them on that. Would they be better known if they were with a label? Absolutely. Very talented band, pretty good band. But because they're independent, they're not going to get as much airplay, obviously. And so I respect that. And again, if I was on a multi-channel network, if I was in a studio and I had the green screens and I did all that stuff, would I have more subscribers? Yes. Would my costs go up? Absolutely, astronomically, yes. The cost for all the stuff that people are like, I think it'd be better if he did this with his channel. These are thousands of dollars a month in improvements that I don't know would necessarily cover the cost of those improvements. It has to be cost benefit. So when I'm getting Funko Pops, I can go, well, these are $8, $9, $10, that kind of thing, maybe 12, maybe 15. That makes sense. That the child, that baby Yoda there, that was I think $40, but there I can throw that on there. That's kind of fun. That's kind of cool, and it's something a little different. And if I've got some exclusives here that are, hard to find, then that's kind of fun. People can look in the background and go, hey, he's got a chase version of that one. It's a lot cheaper to do that and build these up over 6 years, which is how long I've been collecting Funkos, than it is to get a studio on the green screen and all that. Because I can't do it in my house, which is where I do all my videos. So I'd be looking at thousands of dollars a month and having a studio to get into, and then I'd have to have a staff as well. I can't do all of that myself. And all of a sudden now you're getting into a lot of cost that it has to be to the benefit of the channel. So I guess a good way to describe it would be if I made all those improvements and the channel made an extra $1,000 a month, but I'm spending an extra $3,000 a month, right? And I'm just using that as an example, but it would likely be more than that. There are other channels I watch and I say that's expensive, and that little graphic they've got there, that's not cheap either. And there's all these, because I know you have to have your editors, you have to have everybody doing all their own little things, and so it can get pricey. Not to mention I've got all these jerseys in this room and in the other room, and I've got all these DVDs here and the pops, and so those are the background. That's my set. Why would I want to cover that up with a green screen? The ironic part is, so the green screen, I would just end up having the jerseys in the background. I could just not have the green screen. On my green screen, I put my room because I like redundancy. I don't understand. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough rambling from me. But yeah, watching that video yesterday really put some things into perspective and had me thinking. So this is just one of those rambly type videos that I'm known to do here and there. Now, for regulars on this channel, of course, I'm doing the football power rankings tomorrow. And again, I would like to thank the Vegas Raiders for not making it so that I have to worry about where I put Kansas City. Because I was looking at that and going, well, do I really want to drop Kansas City if they barely lose this game? Do I leave them in the same spot? And then they won it, and I went, all right, I'll just leave it as it is. So, yeah, there's that. But, hopefully everybody has a good rest of 2020. We're almost to 2021, and then things should get a little bit better. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you do see me comment here and there on a channel that you might be surprised that I'm commenting on, then that's just how crossovers work. So, if at some point in time there was some kind of chance for collaboration, I've always said that if I was going to do a collaboration, I would probably do that with a channel people wouldn't expect. And it would be a channel that I watch regularly and that, I don't know, I feel like it works. On the hockey side of things, I know Jillian Fisher and I had talked about doing some sort of collaboration at one point, and it just didn't come together. But we had talked about it. That was like a year and a half ago. But it was definitely discussed, and then it just didn't come together. At some point, could it? Yeah, it could, because I think you look at some of the lighter humorous videos that I do, and you look at hers, and the sense of humor is very similar, and I think her and I could work well off of one another. But again, we'll see. We'll see if I ever come up with something compelling, but it would have to be something different. And again, it would involve travel. Ideally, if you're going to do a collaboration, you're in the same room. And right now, people aren't in the same room. So, I only have a cat in my room. What do you have in your room? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support throughout the year. I will talk to you again soon.